really glad that Katy Perry got to experience weightlessness for 4 minutes. You see, every time there's a catastrophe in the United States, the Hollywood bunch come out to remind us that it's all fiction, that it's all a show. You see, they want to keep North Americans in the cycle of debt. And the way that they do that is by showing you celebrities doing things that you can't do. And when they show you these things, what they're actually showing you is that your time is not important, that your abilities are not important. You see, a couple years ago, there was the Biden administration and the downfall of the Democrats. And there was balloons flying across North America. There was UFOs, lights in the sky. There was giants in Miami. Do you remember that? They were all distractions, distracting you from your true self. While China was building and taking people out of poverty, Katy Perry goes to space to kick off her new tour. It wasn't a mission for research. It was to show you that women are powerful. And yet they went on to space missions in a rocket made by a man. Nobody talks about this stuff. And the reason that they don't talk about it is because they don't want you to know. You see, the United States has 800 military bases across the whole world. And what are they protecting? Who are they protecting? But the taxpayers of the United States are not even able to question it. The reason they're not able to question is because they have no idea that they have military bases around the world that they're funding. And yet, people in food banks are waiting in line, and every single day, those lines get longer and longer, and people get more hungry. As more people go into poverty, China's lifting the same amount of people, if not more, out of poverty. Do you see what's going on? And yet, China is being tariffed. Meanwhile, they produce everything that the United States consumes. Without China, the United States would be no different than Guatemala or Ecuador. Not a difference at all. But China produces everything. And the reason that they produce everything is because they're getting rich. They're getting rich while North Americans consume and buy and borrow to buy stuff that they don't need. That's why gold is $3,200 US on this morning's report. And yet, how many Americans own gold? Very few. Very few. Nobody is thinking about their future self in North America. They're only talking about yesterday. Listen to the conversations that you're having with people. Next time you're talking to them, listen to what they're talking about. Remember when conversations. Remember when times were like this. Remember when times were like that. Nobody has any foresight. Nobody has any forward thinking. And that's a trap. That's by design, friends. They want you to be in the trap of remember when. Because they're always talking about the nostalgia. Oh, the Corvette of 1960. Oh, the houses of 1970. You know that we're in 2025 now, right? Don't you think we should be having conversations about what we're doing today or what we're going to do tomorrow? That would be the human way of thinking. You notice that your eyes are in front of your head? Yeah, it's because you're only intended to move forward. But nobody thinks about this stuff. We wake up late. We blame others. We don't aspire to be anything other than what we are. We go into debt for university so that we could have a better life, yet we're in debt for 20 years after university. Does that even make sense? Meanwhile, Chinese students come to the United States, learn our technology, go back to their country, and become successful individuals. Do you think the Chinese students are cheating off of the Americans, or are the Americans cheating off the students, the Chinese students? Just something to ponder, right? But yet, the point of the matter is that it's all Hollywood. And Hollywood's crumbling, right? Hollywood's crumbling. They're not allowing people to realize that the P. Diddy's and the Drakes of Canada, you know, and every time they want to take your eyeballs or distraction, or they want to take your attention away from what is actually happening, like the actual fuck. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I just did. They're taking away your attention. And why they do that is because they don't want you to know the inner workings of the machine. And it's unraveling, man. The internet, TikTok, it let people talk about stuff that they normally couldn't talk about. We were becoming friends with people around the world and exchanging ideas and information at a very slow rate, right? The internet was supposed to accelerate everything and make us more smart, quicker. And what it did was it didn't make us smarter. It made us consume more information, consume more knowledge, consume more things that we didn't need. And when you buy things that you don't need, what happens to you is that you go in debt, and that's where they want you, right? The 25% credit card debts. It's exactly where they want you. Look at the postings of the banks and the credit card companies. Look at the big companies sucking away all of the savings and liquidity out of the market, selling you houses for $1 million for a bunch of wood that you could have just milled yourself. We've been doing it for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. And yet now we need permits and graded lumber. Isn't that amazing? We can't build a road that lasts over 5 years without cracking in North America today. Yet the Romans have roads that they built 3,000 years ago, and they're still used today. It's all consumption. And when you realize that you are a slave to that consumption, you realize that you are now part of the machine. That's not what your ancestors wanted you to be. That's not what they intended for you to become. But you did. And it was because of Katy Perry's and the Sanchez's and the Bezos. Because we all want to know what the rich people are doing. And what does it matter what they're doing? None of it concerns you. See, we compete against people that we shouldn't be competing against. And the only person that you should be competing against is who you were yesterday. That's the only viable competition that you're ever going to have. Athletes know this best, right? Personal best. And people who have an athletic mind are able to navigate and use and harness their own power and body. Their mindset is key. Their nutrition is key. And yet the world that we live in occupies our time, taking away our mindset, gives us horrible food because we have no control over the supply of food. We don't grow our own food. We get it from the grocery store, and the grocery store doesn't grow this stuff. So why is it called grocery? You see, they call things different things. And when you wake up to stuff like this, and you share stuff like this with other people, we become smart as a group. But unfortunately, people won't watch this video. Unfortunately, people won't share this video. And so because I'm not entertaining enough, but nobody wants to hear the message. And those who do live different lives. And I encourage you to share this message, subscribe to my channel, and learn about a part of life that they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you in the media. Because the world that I live in, I'm fully responsible for every part of it. And when you become an active, responsible participant in your own life, what happens is you stop competing with others and you start enjoying the moments that you have on this planet. I encourage you to step into that greatness, because once you do, you'll realize, what were you doing before? Have a great day.